Please join me in the call to worship. We are all looking for a home.
Whatever it's like where we live.
We make home for ourselves in different places in our lives.
May they all be good homes for us and others.
Amen.
So we're all here today so we can share the peace and love with each other. So in the spirit of that, why don't we all stand up and greet our neighbors, people we do know, people we don't know, and all feel at home.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Give me a hug.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. What's after this? Oh. Yeah.
Here for a second, share a story with me. That would be great. Oh, yeah, children's moment. So if you guys can come up. Sorry, I didn't know you could hear me. I promise I don't bite. Good morning, guys. How are you guys this morning? Good? That's good. Good morning. So this morning we're going to be talking a lot about homes. So I decided to read you guys a little story. It's called The House That Jack Built. Hopefully you guys can all see this. This is Jack, a lad that had no place to live. But Jack had a plan for a house he wanted to build. Here's the plan that first began the house that Jack built. We see it has an upstairs and downstairs. It's a pretty big house. This is the land that Jack found for his house to stand on. I'll build my house here in this nice, quiet place. It's a beautiful space, said Jack. This is the hole that Jack made with his spade. He dug a big square, just where the house would be. And we see that he's making a lot of noise now, right? Dig, dig, throw, throw. This is the concrete that filled the hole. It made a strong floor to hold up the walls of the house that Jack built. Rumble, rumble, tumble it out. These are the bricks that were built into walls for the house that Jack built. Slop, scrape, smooth, plunk. This is the pile of shiny new tiles that went on the roof to keep out the rain of the house that Jack built. Tap, tap, tap. This is the glass that went on the windows to let Jack see out of the house that Jack built. Whoops! Smash! This is the wood, and these are the nails that made the door to keep Jack and his things safe inside the house that Jack built. Bang, bang, bang. are lots of pots of paint. They colored the walls of the house that Jack built. Swish, swoosh, swish. This is the van that brought Jack's things to make a home of the house that Jack built. At last, here's the house that Jack built, all finished. Isn't it fine? And isn't it quiet? Until Jack found a wife. Chatter, 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 chatter. And a baby. Wow, wow. And a dog. Woof, woof. And a cat. Meow, meow. Now, there wasn't much room, and there wasn't much peace in the house that Jack built. So Jack made a plan to make his house bigger. And now Jack's back where he first began, but with much more noise. So here at UCC, we're very big on sharing our homes and opening our hearts with people that need help. And we try to find homes for people because we know that it's important for someone to have a place to call their own, a place where they feel safe and a place where they feel loved, just like Jack in his very big house with all his family and friends. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Thank you so much for hearing that story with me, and you're now free to go to Sunday school.
Tears streaming down your face when I said I'll never let you go. When all those shadows almost killed your light. I remember you said, don't leave me here alone. But all that's dead and gone and past tonight. Just close your eyes, the sun is going down, you'll be alright, no one can hurt you now, come morning light, you and I'll be safe and sound.
Dare look out your window, darling, everything's on fire. The war outside our door keeps raging on.
Hold on to this lullaby, even when the music's gone, gone. Just close your eyes, the sun is going down, you'll be alright, no one can hurt you now, come morning light, you and I'll be safe and sound. Close your eyes, you'll be alright, come morning light, you and I'll be safe and sound. Oh, 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 oh.
Whether we take what is written in the Bible as fact, metaphor, myth, or story, listen to these words now, for the meaning they might hold for us on this day.
Today's reading from the Old Testament comes from Ecclesiastes chapter 4. Two are better than one, because they have good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up the other. But woe to the one who is alone and falls, and does not have another to help. Again, if two lie together, they keep warm. But who can keep warm alone? And though one might prevail against another, two will withstand one. A threefold cord is not quickly broken.
Today's reading from the Gospels comes from Matthew chapter 6. Do not store up for yourselves treasure on earth, where moth and rust consume and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasure in heaven, where neither moth nor rust consumes and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also.
Now please join me in saying the words in your bulletin. May the Spirit bless us with the wisdom and wonder as we ponder the meaning of these words for our lives. So, please turn to the song in your hymn booklet, Imagine by John Lennon. It's inspired generations and has just as much meaning today as it ever has.
Try.
Home is where the family meets. Home is a place of restful retreats. Home is a place you know you'll be heard. Home is the pace where nothing blurs.
This is an excerpt from Aisha Patterson's poem, Home, and it mirrors what UCC Campus Ministry is all about. We are lucky that we are housed in a church that nourishes our theological curiosity and shares our yearning for social justice. We have created here a home where we are family and we are free to be ourselves.
Our opinions are valued and we can feel safe sharing with each other. In this spirit, we have shaped a home away from home. Please join us in the spirit with an opening prayer. May the words of our mouths and the meditation of each of our hearts be found acceptable in your sight, Lord. Amen.
Every year, the UCC Campus Ministry goes on a service trip during spring break. We call this trip Breakaway. We spend a week in low-income communities working on homes and with local families.
This past spring break, a group of us traveled down to Slidell, Louisiana, right outside of New Orleans. The area was devastated in 2005 by Hurricane Katrina, and then again, after 7 years of rebuilding, it was hit by Hurricane Isaac this past August. We spent our week renovating the interior of a home that had been flooded by Isaac. This home had no running water or electricity because the owner could not afford to run it while she was living with her daughter. When we entered the home, there were water-damaged books and movies and appliances that had been coated in debris and grime.
There were feces in the bathtub and filling the toilets. We were shocked at the state of this house, and it seemed like it was nowhere near being suitable to be called a home.
The first day at this house, we realized we did not have access to restrooms or running water for the entire week. We would have to carpool to the nearest McDonald's to use these facilities if we needed them. Luckily, Karen Bush, our campus minister, worked her charismatic magic and introduced us to one of the neighbors in the area, Ricky. Ricky greatly influenced our experiences and changed our perspective on how these people were affected by the hurricanes and how they persevered and came together as a community even though they had lost their homes. Ricky was 11 when Katrina hit. He had stayed in the area with his uncle, and the two ended up swimming for shelter until the Coast Guard picked them up.
Ricky's uncle had cut his arm breaking a window of a Kmart during this ordeal and had to have it amputated. Ricky ended up in foster care in California for a few years before coming back to be there with his family. Ricky's uncle ended up passing away from complications of drinking the contaminated floodwaters. But Ricky stayed in Slidell with his mother and his sister, and one day when he was just out for a walk, minding his own business, just trying to get home and make a sandwich, Karen Bush yells him down the street and brings him over to meet us all.
For our homeowner, Wanda, home meant being back in her house where she had raised her children and lived most of her life. But for Ricky, home was with people who wanted to talk to him and cared about what he was saying. He mentioned several times how most people just dismissed him, judged him, and turned away from his story because they didn't care. Our interaction with Ricky challenged us to re-examine what home meant to us. We were fixing a home for Wanda while also providing a friendly ear and a lot of love for Ricky. One home was a physical place, while the other was compassion.
Opening up your home to others can be uncomfortable and daunting. A home is a very personal space. It is your safe haven away from the world. It is a sanctuary. To allow others to share this with you can run the risk of disrupting that sanctuary. When you have a guest staying with you at your house, you prepare your home and you worry what they'll think. You're weird for having your collection of Rapunzel dolls.
Or they will do something weird, like clog your toilet, and it will overflow, and you won't have enough towels to clean it up, and then you have to call a plumber, and then they won't chip in for the bill, and you have to pay $200. But even through all of that awfulness, opening up your home can be very rewarding for both parties. Sometimes you get to know others on a deeper level, finding somebody you can confide in, laugh with, laugh at, and watch movies. Or someone who will chip in for the Chinese food. Or someone who will talk about the deep meanings of life. Or Doctor Who. Or who's getting kicked off of American Idol this week.
The UCC Campus Ministry is a home for us. We come together almost every day of the week. We hang out on days that there aren't official events, and we help each other through difficult times. And we don't mean to brag, but we always open our arms and our hearts to newbies. Granted, it is a lot easier to be friendly with people that aren't sharing your apartment, but we are still sharing our home.
Our home is dear to us because, like Ricky and Wanda, it's not a physical home. It's the home in our hearts, in our friends, and in our diverse views. We try not to count on material things. Our homeowner, Wanda, channeled the gospel in Jesus when she warned us about being tied down by our materials because they are fleeting and can be ripped away by a natural disaster. Our homes are not defined by what we own, but instead, we count on each other to boost one another up in hard times and celebrate the good times.
As we go into the world from here, let us remember the different ways we can build a home for ourselves and with others.
We start building a home by laying the foundation, and that can be as simple as saying hello or as intensive as laying an actual foundation.
In this community, let us work together to open ourselves and our home to those who are seeking a place to call theirs. Amen.
Wherever you are this morning, you may be one who is still a little bit of you is stuck writing up your grocery list for the week, though that would be hard to imagine after the message we just heard. Thank you all. It's beautiful. Wherever you are, I invite you to get comfortable where you're sitting and let your breathing go a little deeper. Something we practice a lot in the campus ministry is how do we wake up? How do we embrace this present moment of existence, knowing that this is what we got right here and right now? And so often we are distracted with the tyranny of the urgent, whatever it may be that keeps us anywhere but in the present moment. It's in the present moment that we can fully feel the presence of the divine, the presence of one another, the gift of being alive. That being said, take some deep breaths and come here. To be human is to suffer, as the Buddha says. Once we embrace that, it's transformed, and we are empowered, and we find healing. But first, we must embrace. And Jesus said so much to us about how do we find the richest experience possible out of this spiritual experience of being human. Pray with me. Divine One, our hearts come to you in need of your touch. Help us to wake up, to be more fully alive while we're still here. Help us to be free of our possessions. Help our hands be open to share what we have with those around us. Help us to never lock the doors of our homes from those who we are called to love. And we thank you for all the homes and all the hearts that welcome us in. And we give you the praise. Amen. Before this moment ends, I want to make sure that you do have a chance to look at what's listed in the bulletin for our prayer concerns. I don't understand prayer, And I believe in it. It's one of those mysteries that somehow when we turn our intention to the needs of another, even if it's someone on the other side of the earth, something happens, something is impacted, something changes. I invite you to share that. It doesn't do any harm, and I invite you to embrace that with me, that prayer changes things. It's mystery to me. In particular, I wanted you to know that, our Sebastian was going to go on to Tower Hill. A bunch of our youth groups in Tower Hill, which is fantastic. You know how much that feeds their lives right now. So we say a prayer of blessing and thanksgiving for all the youth group leaders, for Wendy and the others. I know Amanda's up there, Amy's Amanda. They're getting married coming up. And the others that are up there with these kids, that they have safe journey home, those retreats change lives. And it's powerful, they're up there. But Sebastian wanted to go, and his bone cancer hurt too much on Friday. So he couldn't go. And I don't know about you, but that breaks my heart. So we will, 12-year-old Sebastian, we will hold Sebastian up intentionally. The divine will guide what needs to be guided, but let each of us in our own way be mindful of Sebastian and his family. And anything else that's in here, anything else that you're aware of that could use your intention, make sure you take time for that. Students, I'll take this opportunity to thank you. I feel so blessed. I know I speak for others. You lead with your hearts, as you always do, and we're changed. So thank you. Let us continue in worship.
Please look in your bulletins and join me for the prayer of seeking. God, we set out looking for a place we can be accepted, a place where we feel comfortable. We are not always successful. We get discouraged and settle for somewhere that is good enough, somewhere we are not happy and we do not like to be. Help us to push ourselves beyond these places to find somewhere we truly do feel at home. Amen.
So this is the part where we do the call to offering. This is very personal to me because without this call to offering, without all of the generosity from all of you, people like me wouldn't have been brought into this community. I wouldn't have found this home if not for the breakaway trip, and I wouldn't have been able to go without the help of all of you. So thank you. Oh, right. The ushers can come forward.
Hold on to me as we go, as we roll down this unfamiliar road. And although this wave is stringing us along, just know you're not alone. I'm gonna make this place your home. Settle down, it'll all be clear. Don't pay no mind to the demons that fill you with fear. trouble, it might drag you down. If you get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone. I'm gonna make this place your home. Settle down, it'll all be clear. Don't pay no mind to the demons, they'll fill you with fear. The troubles that might drag you down. If you get lost, you can always be found. Just know you're not alone. I'm gonna make this place your home. Just know you're not alone. I'm gonna make this place your home.
Amen.
So this weekend's Moms Weekend. So welcome to all Illini moms. I know we have a few here. We're so happy to have you on our campus, and glad that you traveled to come down and see us this weekend. Also, welcome to anyone new that is visiting us for the first time. We are so happy that you're here, and we want you to know that you're welcome wherever you are on your walk in life. After worship, we have coffee time in the parlor next door. So come over there and chat with us a little bit if you want to. And we have a couple announcements. First, Jean Ward. Oh yeah, and fill out those. And do that.
Those are friendship pads, and we would love to have your contact information. If you would please fill those out so that we can know that you were here. I'm here as a representative of the Welcome Committee, and you may have noticed in your bulletin that there was an article saying that we were having a Newcomers group meeting in April. We've decided to put that off for a month, and the reason is we would kind of like to revamp what we do for our newcomers groups. So we're inviting anybody that's interested to help us with that process. We're going to meet next Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock here, and we're going to kind of look at what we do in our newcomers groups and how we can best help people new to our community feel a part of things and fit in. So if you, especially if you're somebody who's fairly recently gone through one of those groups and have ideas based on your experiences of what would have helped you more or what you felt was especially beneficial, we would love to have you join us. So if you could let me know if you're interested in that, and also let me know if you'd like to be a part of the newcomers group, which now will be meeting in May instead, and make sure that we get you on the list so that we can contact you when that will be. Thank you so much. Oh, and I don't think anybody's standing here ready to speak about Crop Walk. Crop Walk is this afternoon. It's, thank you, Elaine. Elaine is our hardest hitter as far as going out and recruiting people to donate to Crop Walk. A number of us are walking this afternoon. Maybe people could stand up if they're walking. I know any of us would be thrilled to get your donations. Crop Walk is, thank you. Crop Walk is sponsored by Church World Service. It is for hunger and water issues. A chunk of the money stays here locally, and the rest of it is parceled out around the world to projects that are endeavoring to feed and make sure that people have safe water. So we'd appreciate your donations. Thanks.
My name is Jessica Neville, and I have two announcements for Souls for Souls. Right at coffee time, we actually have these amazing, delicious, beautiful cookies for sale. They are in the shape of flip-flops. I've eaten some, so I can tell you they're good. We are selling those each for $1. You may want to take a couple home for you, take some as gifts. I'm telling you, they're delicious, they're beautiful. Please come by, and the proceeds will go towards our trip this summer to Jamaica. On that note, we also have one more fundraiser for the Texas Roadhouse on April 22nd from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Why don't you go out to dinner, bring your partner, your spouse, your friends, bring a flyer. 10% of the donations or the proceeds from that night will go towards our trip. So please make sure you pick up 1, 2, 10 of these flyers, give them away, and then go ahead and come out on April 22nd. The flyers are on the back on the credenza. Thank you.
For anyone new, are you just going to play in Jamaica?
We are not just going to play in Jamaica. We are actually going to Jamaica on a mission trip. We are going with Souls for Souls, and we are going to be washing people's feet, fitting people a pair of shoes. It's going to be an exciting time. We are going from June 3rd to June 7th, so we also appreciate your prayers and support in that way. Thank you. There is an announcement about shoe banding. I have to honestly say I don't know anything about that. So it is in the announcement, so if you're wanting to help with that, feel free to come down and help with that today. Anything else? Excellent, thank you.
Please rise if you are able and turn to the last song in your song booklet. We will only be singing through the first verse and going straight to the end. So the first verse and chorus and straight to the end, so just one. In that spirit, go from here and create to your homes and nurture them and make them welcoming for others and welcoming for, yeah. So go now. and have a great day. Enjoy the spring that is coming after this week, hopefully. Sometime we'll get here. But yeah, thank you.
Now let's go quiet to the park where it first started. Cool night, us lying in the dark. I felt my heart was trying to find a place for you to stay, a place where I'd feel safe. Anything we have known, anything we've forgotten, in the rain, in the dark we'll lay. In your arms I'll stay. Anything we have known, anything we've forgotten, in the rain, in the dark we'll lay. In your arms I'll stay. Take my hand, let's go into the trees. Behind the branches falling on our knees. I remember feeling like this part of us would never change. Anything we have known, anything we've forgotten, in the rain, in the dark we'll lay. In your arms I'll stay. Anything we have known, anything we've forgotten, in the rain, in the dark we'll lay. In your arms I'll stay. Follow me, we will know the way. It's always been the same. Anything we have known, anything we've forgotten, in the rain, in the dark we'll lay. In your arms I'll stay.